I don't know if that's gonna be my new intro, but apparently it is. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to your favorite story time with your messy ass. I know that you guys are here for more of the tea about my messy boss. This is part 2/3. If you guys are interested in the OG story, which I told like years and years ago, I will link that down below. Speaking of, okay, before we get into the story time, I just want to let y'all know that y'all don't listen. If you go to my original like story, it was so fucking glitchy. If you like look at this video, it is so glitchy. And I remember this video was giving me such a hard time and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I just want to get it up. And I did. So when I wanted to tell you guys like the culmination of shit that was going on with my messy ass boss, I wanted to remind you guys, especially those of you that are my OG Glamazons, of what happened, and also catch up new peeps about what happened, because I know how this story ends and I know how this relationship ended, and I know that I was like Miss Petty Queen. I mean, look who you're talking to. But I am not petty for no reason, okay? My petty ways come with purpose, and they always come after something trifling has happened. So I need y'all to like know the culmination of events that led up to my petty ways, all right? Basically, in a nutshell, I'm trying to cover my ass here, but I didn't appreciate all y'all being like, oh my God, you told this story before. I said that. I said in a synopsis, in a nutshell, that's what happened with her coming out with me and my brother and like making a fool out of herself while we were clubbing. But you're not going to tell me that you knew about her football Sancho. And you're also not going to tell me that you knew about her standoff for Kimberly. You're not going to tell me that. You're not going to tell me that. So stop acting like I don't bring you fresh tea, bitch. Okay? Don't be dramatic. That's my job. With that long ass intro to the side, let's get into the story time. Jumping right in, we already know who Veronica is. We know who Kimberly is. And we also know who Monica is, who is the new HR director who replaced my old boss, Diane, and who is now besties, like besties with Veronica. All right? The transition to Veronica being my supervisor was definitely rocky, to say the least, and it took us a while to kind of even get on the same field, much less on the same level, dude. My conversations with her started dwindling. We were not talking as much, especially not as friends. Like, it just was, the dynamic shifted like all the way to the left. And like, I get it, you know, you're now my supervisor, but you're still the same person and you've still shown me your ways, and like, don't act brand new type of shit. And it was really getting on my nerves. I am, you know, doing my job as usual. I have only a few hours out of the day that I can commit to marketing, which I was really pissed about. Ultimately, as time went on, Kimberly from the marketing department, she was asking me for help less and less, because I was like less reliable. I was less available. And I just felt like Veronica was really kind of smothering my ability to move on to another department or to cross train or to grow in this company. I feel like she was really doing this on purpose to ensure that I would stay in the position that I was in. And I don't know if this was something that was on her agenda or if it was something that one of the higher ups told her to ensure happened, because keep in mind, the head of marketing as well as like the COO and things like that, they really enjoyed me in this position, which I was very flattered by. But like, I am so much more than this. My abilities far exceed this, and like, I am baffled that you guys are like trying to basically pigeonhole me into this position. Part of me thinks that she came at me that way and like about my time and who I'm giving it to in order to lessen my chances of being able to get out of this role. Slowly but surely, my duties just go right back to just being the receptionist, and bitch, I was bored. I was so bored, and I hate being bored at work. Like, there's nothing that irritates me more than being bored at work. I would much rather be swamped and busy so that the time goes by faster. But because of Veronica's ass, I was bored all the time. This is an oil and gas company, and they spend money on top of money on like the most ridiculous shit, y'all. Like, part of my job as the receptionist of this company was like vendor relations, and I would meet with representatives of Coke, the brand, okay, like representatives of theirs, to have vending machines of theirs and only their products being put out into our office, like, because we had like whole ass fridges that were Coke fridges that were stocked with nothing but Coke products that were free to employees, and we had a contract with them. Girl, the contracts that this company had with like different brands was insane, okay? So I was shook by the amount of money that they were basically just throwing away, and they would just kind of throw it around, and random things would kind of come up. They would come up with random events, random challenges, random everything. So one day came around, right? And I don't remember if it was like the new year. I really don't remember what brought this on, but all of a sudden our CEO became super health conscious. Like he already was before, in the sense that he would like have coconut water in the office, and he would have fruit baskets delivered every single Monday. And instead of like, you know, cookies or anything like that, he wanted us to consume more fruit and veggies and stuff. But it started increasing from there, and he had an announcement go out via email, like a newsletter, saying that he was going to start providing fitness memberships to employees that were interested. And the fitness membership would be at the fitness center that was a part of our building. Y'all, when I tell you bougie, it was the bougiest gym I had ever seen, okay? And keep in mind, I've only seen this gym from the outside. I think it's called like Pura Vida, or maybe it's called something different now, but it faces like the back side of the gym. It faces the 16th Street Mall. So when you're walking up and down the mall, you can look up and like you can look into the glass and see people working out. They have like this balcony area. You can do yoga and shit out there, and you're facing the 16th Street Mall. So I had always seen this fitness center, and like I had always wondered what it was like to go in there, because it was like membership only. It was like very bougie. My 24-hour fitness going ass, like I was like, there ain't no way in the world that I will ever know what the inside of that place looks like, until I got this email. The minute I get this email, I like geek out. I'm so excited, and I'm like, no fucking way. This is why I put up with Veronica's shit, okay? This is why I put up with all y'all shit for the perks, because the perks of this job, I'm telling you, chef's kiss. Now, these memberships weren't fully paid for. I remember that there was like, I want to say like $20, $30 a month that you had to pay, but they would take care of anything additional, and they were willing to pay for 2 classes a week. And then they were also having like this office fitness challenge, because we had different offices. We had different offices around Denver, and then we also had different offices like in North Dakota where the actual drilling was taking place. So he initiated a fitness challenge to the different offices, us competing against each other. They would get an extension of their fitness membership, as well as like a small bonus per person that participated. So there was definitely a huge incentive, right? So this email goes out, and all of a sudden, you know, my different friends from around the office are stopping by my desk, and oh my God, did you get this email? What do you think? Are you going to do it? And of course I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, I've been dying to see what the inside of that gym looks like. Like, you know, y'all know, okay, first of all, how expensive gym memberships are. And secondly, if you want to take classes inside that gym membership, girl, forget about it. Okay. Like, it's a whole last car payment for some people. Here comes Veronica's ass, and she decides to join everybody at my desk, and she knows that we're all talking about like the gym membership and stuff like that. And I forgot who asked her, but somebody asked her. They were like, oh my God, are you gonna do it? She was like, do you know anything about me? Of course, like I love fitness. And remember, I told y'all, she definitely was like a gym rat. She was super fit for her age. I definitely respected that about her. I was like, dang girl, you better do your thing, you know? So she goes as far as to be like, I will be our office team leader, as far as, you know, like this competition between the different offices. Like, I will be the leader, and like, you know, volunteering herself for this position that didn't even exist. I forgot exactly the rules, but within this competition, each office would have like classes that they had to go to together. Like, they kind of split us up into groups, and during like right after our lunch, our CEO would give us like 45 minutes, which was about the time that you would need to go to a class, and he wanted all of us to go together, like as like team building or whatever. I was floored, y'all. Like, I had never been a part of an office that did some shit like this. Like, what you mean, you know? So me being pretty much chained to my desk every other time of the day, trust when I tell you I jumped on the opportunity, like, absolutely get me the fuck up out of here. So sign up, everybody else signs up, and like within the next week, fitness competition was gonna start, and we were gonna get into the routine. We were able to use our gym memberships, and we were gonna start going to our team group classes together. Of course, our company does the most, and when I tell you they do the most, they do the most. So with this competition, they decided that it would be necessary to get us all matching company logo shirts to work out in, so that we could all show up to that gym just repping our company, just like One day came around and Kimberly was passing around the shirts. And this is what I was talking about. I had no idea that she had even ordered these shirts. I would have been a part of this process. So here comes Kimberly. She gives me this shirt and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cute. But I would have done a few things differently, but I didn't tell her that. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, this is so cute. And they were regular t-shirts. Okay, they were regular t-shirts. And I don't know about you, but I don't really like working out in regular t-shirts, like heavy ass cotton t-shirts, because they don't wick away moisture. I personally don't enjoy it. And so I thought that was kind of weird at first, but I didn't say nothing. I did not say nothing. This was not my process. This was not my idea. So I'm just going to be grateful and take the t-shirt. Apparently I wasn't the only one that felt that way. All of a sudden later on in the day, Veronica and Monica come to my desk and they have their shirts in their hand and they come directly to me and they're like, did you see this? I just wanted them to tell me first, like, what y'all think? Y'all not about to catch me slipping talking shit. And they both had the same sentiments, like the shirt, like who's gonna want to work out in this shirt? Like it's so heavy and it's like a full ass t-shirt. And like, y'all, no lie, like they were talking shit. They were both like making fun of Kimberly and they were like, this is why she shouldn't be in charge of ordering. And like, you know, you could tell she doesn't work out much and like shit like that. And I was like, pessoal que messy. Like, y'all, I was not about to participate in that because I wanted to be a part of the marketing team. How stupid would it be for me to be participating in this chismeando about Kimberly and she could possibly walk up on me and then forget my chances, okay? So I was like, like, you know, like, oh my God, you guys are so crazy. Who works out in a t-shirt? And like, they're looking at me for my 2 cents. And I was like, oh, you know, my response was, oh, well, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. I was just gonna take it home and customize it a little bit. It was like a few years fresh out of high school. Do you know how many times I used to customize my shirts? Like, do y'all remember like doing the slits in your shirts and then tying them together to like make that little peekaboo and like rolling up your sleeves, putting ribbons around them? Girl, like I was on the step team, all right? We did all of our shit was DIY. So I was like, I was just gonna take this shirt home and add a little pizzazz to it and you know, it'll be all good. It's like I was fucking Einstein in that bitch. They both were like, oh my God, that's so true. Oh my God, we should totally do that. Yeah, that's true. It was a very simple, short, sweet conversation, like not even a big thing until the next week. And it is time for our group fitness class we're gonna take together. And we had 2 different classes that we were gonna be taking as a group. One was bar, you know, with like the same bars that the ballerinas use. Let me tell you something. That shit ain't no game, okay? It will get you in shape, and I mean like slender shape, but it is hard. I have so much respect for anybody who does ballet because oh my God. And then the second class was spin class, which I had never done either one of these classes before. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We had to bring in our, you know, company t-shirt or whatever. All I did to mine was cut off the sleeves. I kind of made it into like a razor back, took off a lot of like the sleeves and like the back material. Other than that, like it was pretty much the same. I just wanted some air for my shoulders. So the time came, it was after lunch and we were going to get ready to go to our class together. So we had to go and change, you know, into our workout stuff real fast. I had somebody else watching the desk for me and we were all going to be meeting up near the elevators in the front to take off together. And in our group, I want to say it was like no more than like 8 of us. In my group though was Veronica, Monica, and then like one other admin and then a few other people from different departments. But Veronica and Monica were a part of my group for sure. So I get into my shirt, I go to the front and, you know, wait by the elevators. I meet up with like 1 or 2 of my friends that are also a part of my group. And I hear Veronica and Monica coming down the hallway. Like I can hear their voices and they round the corner and I look at them. Girl, tell me why. Y'all, first of all, Monica really wasn't too bad. Like she kind of cut her shirt very similar to mine, you know, like basically just taking off the shoulders. Veronica, bitch. Veronica had fake boobies, all right? And they were very nice and they were pretty new and they were very perky and things. So she had on a sports bra, like a very slinky, you know, sports bra, very cute. And then she had the shirt on, if I could even call it that, bitch. She had the shirt on over. She cut all the way down the side, all the way. So it was just like hanging on her from here and then a little bit of material around the waist. But other than that, all through here, all open. all of it. So when she like turned to the side, you could see all her stomach. You could see girl, like she even did a little dip, like she made herself like a little low cut into the front. So, you know, she has some cleavage going on. Y'all, when I tell you, I was like, I was not the only one. I will tell you right now, I was not the only one with that reaction. Like some of my other friends, like they were just like, what the heck? All of us look like we're at work, like with coworkers, okay? Just seemed like she was, you know, being sexy, trying to find her a man's at the gym. I did not believe how she did that shirt and like what she did to it and how she customized it, because I was like, bitch, never seen that much of her body before. And let me tell you something, we were seeing a lot of it. Fast forward, we go to our class. I think the first one was the bar class. This really nice, very soothing, like very calming lady was our teacher, and it kicked my ass. It thoroughly kicked my ass. I came out of that class like drenched in sweat, like muscles that I didn't even know I had hurting. I was like, oh my God, like I literally felt like I was just gonna pass out. It went really well. It's kind of weird working out with your coworkers, but you know, it was definitely a good time and it was something new and I really enjoyed it. Fast forward a few days and towards the end of the week, we were gonna have our second class, which was gonna be our spin class. I was really excited for this because I had heard really great things. At the time, my best friend had been doing spin, and she was like praising it up and down, and I was like, okay, like this is my chance to try it without using my own money, so I was really excited. We get to our spin class and I sit in the same row as Veronica and Monica just by chance. Monica was the one right next to me. Veronica was on the other side of her, and then I had like my other friend on the other side of me, so we're all in a line, right? And when we walked in at first, the room was empty. All the bikes were empty and everything, and the instructor wasn't even there yet. So we pick our bikes and we start, you know, making sure that all the settings are right and your feet can reach the pedals, at least me, because, you know, I'm shorty McShort. I'm over here trying to pretend like I know what the fuck I'm doing, and like I'm trying to like watch everybody else to like, you know, kind of keep up. And then out of nowhere, I hear this man's voice. And he walks into the room and he's like, all right, y'all ready to get it, da-da-da. And I look up, and it is this like 25, 26-year-old blonde, tall dude. You know that dude that does like the Peloton TikToks, and he's like really, he kind of looked like him, but a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more rugged. But anyways, y'all, he was young. And immediately when he walked into the room, like you could feel the tension with all the women in this class, bitch. And it wasn't just, now keep in mind, this was not just our group in this class. It was our group plus, you know, just the general public. Out of nowhere, y'all, like this flood of women come into this class, and every single one of the spin bikes is taken. There are like girls that are like walking in and seeing that all of the spots are taken, and they're like, fuck, and you know, like they walk out with an attitude. And I'm looking around and I'm like, look at the instructor, I'm like, oh, y'all not here for health and wellness, y'all little nasties, y'all here for him. He was attractive, y'all, but he was just not my type. But like, girl, when I tell y'all, they were going crazy. And I hear Monica, because she's right next to me, she was like, oh my God, look at this man, oh my God, look at him, he is just, wow, like I could look at him all day. Oh, he is inspiring enough, honey. And like, you know, just like talking her shit, just like, you know, basically saying he's cute and like just him being fine is gonna motivate her to get through this class. And you know, she's making all these funny comments, and I'm like, girl, you crazy. Y'all, we get through the spin class, and again, like I'm dead. While I was taking breaks, y'all, Monica and Veronica going. I'll talk all my shit all day, but I will say that them women were fit, okay? And I was shocked, because what are the odds of them becoming best friends like that? And they're literally around the same age. They were both single, and they were both very much like into fitness. And so they were just like they were fine for their age. Like they really were. They were doing the damn thing. They both had like really great physiques and stuff, and they were fucking fit. Like, and here I am like in my early 20s, and a bitch can't keep up. So I keep like taking breaks, but not too many, because like they're just like going, and I'm getting embarrassed, and like I'm just like, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like what are y'all on? So we get through this entire class, And right after, like as soon as he says like that we're done, I like hop off the bike. I am literally dying. Like my lungs are on fire, my legs are on fire. I'm just like, what the fuck did I just do? So I start, you know, wiping down the bike and stuff and kind of getting my things together, and everybody, you know, starts slowly but surely making their way out. Veronica, she takes off. I guess, you know, she's trying to get back to the office. So I know that I have to be pretty much right behind her, because if I take too long, she's gonna make a big ass deal about me not being in the office or whatever. So I start like gathering my things. Y'all, on the way out, I shit you not, I see Monica, and she like grabs her stuff, her sweat towel, and she takes her ass right up to that instructor. Like no shame. And I don't know exactly what they were talking about, but just by the tone of her voice, you could tell, like, you know, when a woman is like making the moves on a man and like, you know, really hitting them with that sweet voice, and just, I really enjoyed it. Like, oh my God, like this was such a fun class. Like that type of shit. And like on the way out, I'm like, dang, Monica, you better get them. I almost envied the amount of confidence that these women had, and just like the wisdom that they had, and like all of the confidence that came along with that, because I could not even fathom. Fast forward a few weeks and we're doing this, and every week we're doing the bar class, we're doing the spin class, and I'm going to the gym, you know, on my own. They even let us have like a training, like a personal trainer one-on-one, but they only let us do that like 2 or 3 times, and then after that, if you enjoyed having a personal trainer, then you would have to like pay for the personal trainer. So I met with mine like 2-3 times, and I did not have the money to pay for a personal trainer. But training one-on-one is so different than just like trying to go in there and figure shit out on your own. But anyways, y'all, I was really taking my fitness seriously, so I was there quite a bit, right? As the weeks progressed and I was, you know, going more often at different times, I would see some of my coworkers, and I ran into Veronica a few times, and then I saw Monica there, and this time she wasn't in the spin class, but she was training with old boy from the spin class. She picked him as her personal trainer, beach. So I saw them like together, like on the rowing machines, and like he's one-on-one, and they're just like hee ha ha, and just like, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that they were together. I'm not even kidding. Like the sparks were fucking flying. So every now and then I would go in and I would see Monica with him. It kind of started out a little infrequent, and then all of a sudden I started seeing them together more and more and more. And I would see them like, and it didn't matter when I was going, whether it was like right after lunch or after work or before work, like there were at least a handful of times during each time slot that I was like seeing them together. Like it was kind of evident that like something was happening there, right? And meanwhile, Monica is getting into the best shape of her life. Like she is just, let me tell you, snatched, okay? In just a few weeks, you could tell the difference that just her training with this guy was making with her body. And she was just like slimming down a lot. Her waist was getting smaller. She was wearing some tighter fitting clothes. And she was really like, let me tell you something, doing the damn thing. Veronica did not like this, not one little bit. Not one little bit. And she started noticing that not only was Monica getting into insane shape, but her confidence level up to here, bitch. She was so happy. She was so energetic. Like she really was living her best life. And I could sense it, like literally like in meetings, just across the room, you know, like when you look at someone and you're watching them and they don't know that you're watching them, and you see how they look at somebody else. Girl, when I tell you, I saw envy. I saw that stank envy face all over Veronica when Monica was like living her best life and coming in like, you know, just happy and glowing and fit and well and just amazing looking cute. All of a sudden, it seemed like the hot girl of the office was no longer Veronica. It was Monica. And Monica was getting all of these compliments. And like when I tell you she was glowing, she was fucking glowing. She actually convinced the CEO to have different like nutrition brands come and basically market to us on Fridays, like when we didn't have meetings. And like there was like this supplement brand that came, and like, you know, they were selling different supplements and pre-workout and stuff like that. And then there was another brand that came in that did like protein bars, and we would get discounts on those items, and they would basically give us a presentation of their product. And Monica was heading all of this up because she wanted everyone to like be a part of this fitness journey, and she was like so gung-ho about it. We start having these meetings and these presentations, and Veronica was kind of getting frustrated and like really just salty about it, and was like, you know, like she would enjoy them, but like right after she would come to my desk and be like, oh my God, what a waste of time that was. Like, ain't nobody gonna get those pills or whatever. And like, you know, Monica really needs to focus on this and not so much on these like weird presentations. Like I have my own supplements that I take, you know, little jabs like that, where I started kind of seeing cracks in their friendship. And I was like, and this was the first time that Veronica was like coming to me and kind of talking shit about Monica, and was not fond of the decisions that Monica was making. And so the entire time that she's talking to me, like I knew where it was coming from, and I was like, ooh, that hateration, holleration in this dance party. I was going to the 2 separate kitchens on our floor to make sure everything was stocked up. And during that time, usually I did big stocks whenever our big deliveries would come in, and like I'm telling you, like cases and cases and cases of soda, like cases. I would have to open all of them, break down all the boxes. It was a huge to-do. It was very time consuming and very tedious. I remember being fucking frustrated with Veronica that day. I don't remember why. I don't remember what happened. I'm sure a slew of things could have happened, but I remember refusing to fucking talk to her or even acknowledge her. And I was like, what the fuck ever, this bitch, like she can kiss my ass. I didn't say anything to her. Like I didn't say anything to them when they came into the kitchen, and I, you know, continued doing my shit, and they just continued to have their conversation. I remember what the beginning of their conversation was about. I tuned in when it started getting juicy, and Monica started talking about old boy from the gym. We'll name him Jake. That sounds like a gym bro, huh, Jake? So she starts talking about Jake. He's so great. We've been having such a good time. He really has been helping me with like my fitness, and I feel amazing. This is like the most amazing I've ever felt. At first I was like, oh yeah, she's just talking about, you know, her experience with a fitness trainer. Nah, girl. It started turning, and she was like, he just makes me feel so beautiful. He makes me feel so heard. He's such a good listener. We had such a good time. So I'm kind of like getting bits and pieces, and I'm like, oh, and I start putting the dots together, and I'm like, oh my God, they're fucking dating. Like legit, like Monica and Jake are dating. Like that's crazy. So of course, you know, I have to be nosy. So, you know, I start putting the cans away just a little quieter so that I can hear what's going on and be nosy. Y'all, Veronica was being so fucking shady. She was being so fucking shady. Like, here's Monica, like, you know, I'm having such a good time. He's so great. Like he's this, he's that, you know, just, you know, happy as can be. And Veronica, her responses were like up the alley of, you know, that the honeymoon stage doesn't last forever. Like, you know, don't get your hopes up too much. You know how guys can be. Are you ever worried that like he trains other women like that, or like that he's meeting other girls that way? She was definitely raining all over Monica's parade. And Monica was just kind of like, she was so happy. It was just going over her head. And everything that Veronica was asking, Monica was just like taking it, you know, just like nothing, like not a big deal. So she would answer these questions very nonchalant, like, no, I don't really worry about it. Like, we have a good time. Like, Veronica, when I tell you, bitch, she was being a hating ass bitch. Like putting away all of the drinks, and I was like, wow, you bitch. And like, I was like looking at the back of her head, like you were such a terrible friend. Like I could tell that she was just not a valuable friend. She just was not a good friend. Even at this age, she just never grew out of those petty, jealous ways. See, this is another reason why I don't respect your ass, because you were just childish on so many different fronts, and like, you don't want to see nobody happy. You don't want to see nobody do what you perceive is better than you. Like, she was one of them, okay? So this is when I start really sensing like this crack in their friendship, and it was coming from Veronica. And like everything that Monica was doing, like minding her business and living her best life, was really fucking with her, and it was really agitating her. Work goes on as usual, life goes on as usual. I'm still going to the gym. I started my second job at the strip club at this time, and so, you know, I was working there during the day, at the club at night. Y'all, at this time, my crazy ass really was trying to find time in the morning before my 8 to 5 job to work out, just even for a little bit, to kind of keep myself myself, you know, to keep my energy up and to keep myself in shape, because I was doing so much running around and so much working. So I started going more often in the morning to go work out at that gym. And it was just easier for me to get ready for work there and all of that. So I was trying to take advantage of this temporary, you know, membership that I had. There was one day that came around and I had gone into the gym. It was like ass crack early, right? I'm there for maybe like 20-25 minutes. Like I really could not work out for that long, but something was better than nothing. By the time I was leaving, more people were showing up to the gym and I needed to like start getting ready for work. So I get off of whatever machine I was on and I start heading back towards the ladies' locker room, which was like towards the front door. And to get there, like you have to pass a few of the classrooms where they have the fitness classes, and those classrooms have glass windows and glass doors so you could see anybody who was in there. And the classes were empty at this time because everybody was just starting to come in. Out of my periphery, I saw people in there and I just, you know, glanced over and I saw Jake, and he was in the same classroom that we took our cycling class in, and he was standing up at the front, and he's like, there was like this almost like this podium in there, and he was like leaning on this podium and he's looking at this woman. He's looking at this woman and he's like smiling. And so immediately I'm like, ooh, who's he smiling at like that? Like obviously I know that him and Monica have a thing going on right now. Y'all, I look at who he's talking to. She's grabbing her gym bag and like she's about to head out. It's fucking Veronica. Y'all, I literally like stopped and I just like looked at this situation as a whole and I was like, what the fuck? I can read body language. You can read body language, bitch. We are all well versed in the language of body language, okay? They were flirting. I'm telling you, like the way he was smiling at her, like the way that she was standing, the way that she was like touching her hair, and like you could tell like she was in the middle of like saying bye and like they were still like messing with each other, you know what I mean? Like joking around and shit. And I was just like, oh my God. And I'm in my desk, obviously, by 8 a.m. And she comes in like 10 minutes late. She comes in from the elevator and she kind of seems like disheveled, like she was hurrying. Of course, me being petty, I was like, Veronica, it's 10 after. Is everything okay? She straight up, without pause, was like, oh my God, yeah, there was like an accident right near my apartments and like it just backed up everything. She didn't even like make eye contact with me. She's just, you know, talking, giving me her reason and walking right past me. And I'm looking at her like, bitch, I know you are not. You're not lying to me right now. Like, what do you mean? I literally just saw you at the gym talking to Jake and now you're gonna tell me that you just got here to the building? What a random thing to lie to me about. Like, why not just tell me, oh, you know, I had a great workout this morning and it took me a minute to get ready. Why are you trying not to place yourself at the gym this morning? So I'm like trying to figure out what's going on and I'm like, are Monica and Jake even talking still? Like maybe they're not even together anymore. So because, you know, obviously Veronica wouldn't be, you know, talking to Jake, or, you know, maybe Monica knows that Veronica's taking classes by him, or like maybe being trained by him. Like, you know, they are besties, who knows? At some point throughout the day, Monica stops at my desk just to chit chat, just to, you know, how are things going, what you doing, what you working on, that type of stuff. And we're just, you know, shooting the shit, and it's just me and her. Y'all crazy if you don't think that I didn't pry just a little. I need to know. I'm invested, bitch. We were talking about like, you know, working out and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, speaking of, I was like, how are you and Jake? Immediately she lights up and she was like, oh my God, we are so good. He took me on a date this weekend and it was like the most romantic thing that I have ever experienced. And like, he took care of every aspect of the date. Like he made sure that I didn't have to lift a finger, and like we went to dinner and then we went bowling and then we went to a movie afterwards. Like they had like this whole grandiose like romantic night together. She was letting me know they had like just very nonchalant, just letting me know that like he spent the night. And you know what happens when they spend a night? Like we're still just getting to know each other. I was like, getting to know each other, right, Monica? And you know, so we start laughing and like he hawing. Then here comes Veronica's funky ass and she brings her ass over to my desk because she hears that we're like laughing or whatever. What's so funny? What are you guys laughing at? I am so like disgusted by Veronica because now I know for sure that Monica and Jake are still a whole ass thing where he's spending the night. I don't say shit. She was like, oh, Nikki was just asking me about Jake. break, and like I told her about this weekend or whatever. And so Veronica looks at Monica and was like, well, what happened this weekend? I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yeah, Monica, what happened this weekend? So Monica repeats herself and like basically and catches Veronica up and was like, yeah, you know, he spent a night and like, you know, we're doing this, and we had this romantical evening, and he's just so thoughtful and this and that. And y'all, the whole time that Monica's telling Veronica this, I am like staring at Veronica's face and like really analyzing it, and bitch, this shit's eating her up alive. It was eating her up alive. Like, I'm surprised that that bitch did not have like a nervous eye twitch going on. She was getting so frustrated and so angry. Like, you could tell that she was really trying to hold back, that she was like frustrated and just really annoyed. She just seemed annoyed, and she was like, oh, really? Oh, wow. Well, that was very thoughtful of him. Wow, I would have never guessed. He doesn't seem like the type. Along with the array of amazing perks that this company provided for their employees came also a free parking pass to their underground parking garage. And keep in mind, this building is right off the 16th Street Mall, bitch. So ask me if I use that parking pass on my weekends. Absolutely, I did. So one night comes around, David and I decide to have like a date night, but with like a bunch of our friends. I want to say it was one of their birthdays, but anyways, they wanted to go to this new spot that just opened up, and it was like a tequila bar or something like that. So David and I get ready, we're going out on this date night. I'm super excited, and of course I decide to use my parking pass. And where my job was like towards the end of the 16th Street Mall, but you have the mall ride that gives you free rides up and down the mall, right? And this bar was a part of the 16th Street Mall, so I was like, perfect. We take the elevator up to the ground floor, we get off on the 16th Street Mall, we take the mall ride, and we go meet up with our friends at this bar. We're probably only there for like 2-3 hours, and then some of them wanted to go clubbing, and I just was not up for it. Like, I was so exhausted. This was one of my very few days off, and I was like, nah, like, I'm not trying to be out all night. Funny, because my bestie Khadijah was there at this party with me that night, and she was like, hell no, I ain't trying to go to the club with them. Like, no. For ways, we say peace out, and David and I take off, and we stopped for something to eat, like Taco Bell or something right there on 16th Street. We're walking together towards like my big ass building, and there's like this 24-hour door that you can access, and from there you can take the elevators down to the parking garage. There's a security guard there. I say what's up. He knows that I'm an employee from one of the companies, and you know, he's like, hey, you know, you guys have a good evening, be safe, da da da. We get into the elevator, press the level that we're parked on, and then right before the door closes, this man, he walks into the elevator as well, and he ends up, you know, picking the garage that's like right above ours, so his stop is going to be before ours. So part of me was like, damn, you know, like, I kind of hate that, you know, when you have to like make an extra stop. David and I are towards the back of the elevator, and this guy is in front of us. David and I are, you know, just chit-chatting, saying whatever, and the elevator stops and the doors open, and there are a few people that are standing in front of the elevator waiting to get on, but this elevator is going down. So they start asking David and I, are you guys going down? So when I looked out there to like talk to this guy, I see another couple that's like walking towards the elevator, and they're not even 10 feet away. So I just quickly like glance over there, like I can't help it. They're walking towards us. I see with my own two eyes, Veronica and Jake. And they are dressed up, bitch. He's in like a dinner coat looking all spiffy and shit. And like they are walking hand in hand, bitch, towards the elevator that I am currently on. So the guy that's standing directly in front of me that I just answered, he like starts looking at me weird, because like I'm staring like right past his ear. And I'm sure that I look crazy, because I was like, looking at me, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, sorry. At this point, they're getting pretty close to the elevator, and Veronica heard my voice when I said that, and she looked up at me, and bitch, me and her caught eyes. Like, we literally made eye contact, and I was like, at that moment, bitch, here comes the door, and I'm like, the look on her face, I could only describe as pure shock. Like, she just, you could tell, like, not a sound was coming out of this bitch's mouth. Like, she literally, it looked like she had just seen a ghost. I had literally just caught my boss with her best friend's boyfriend, okay? Because they are dating. Like, don't tell me, like, they weren't just talking. Like, they were seeing each other on a regular basis. They're going on dates. They are dating. And, like, just saw it. I just saw it with my own eyes. She can't even deny it. She can't say shit. And I'm like, y'all, the minute that elevator door closes, I was like, oh my God. I wouldn't even be surprised if Veronica didn't hear my ass. I'm sure she did, because I was like, oh my God. David was like, what? What happened? Y'all, David loves cheese smidge as much as I do, right? So like the whole way to our car, I'm like giving him all the tea and I'm like, babe, like I just caught that bitch. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I just saw that. And he was like, what, babe? Like, tell me. So, you know, the whole way home, I'm like breaking it down, you know, Veronica, how she was annoying me at work, her friendship with Monica when we started this fitness challenge, how Monica started dating Jake. And now all of a sudden I'm starting to see Veronica and Jake together all the fucking time. And I just saw them and I just fucking caught her. I know for a fucking fact that they're on their way to a date right now. And because they both work in this building, they are both parked in this garage on this fateful night. And I just fucking caught her. I knew that she must have been freaking out. Like there's no way, just by the look on her face before that elevator door shut, she was freaking the fuck out. You could tell that she was like, oh fuck. And I was like, bitch, I caught you. I seen it. I seen it. I seen it. Definitely stay tuned for part 3 of this story where that information comes out and you guys can see how I used it for my petty ways. But I just wanted you guys to know what led up to this situation and how everything happened. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and would like to hear more like it, definitely show that like button some love. And if you love story times as well as anything spooky, scary, I'm going to start doing some more true crime on here. Definitely subscribe to my channel. I would love to have your fine ass be a part of my glam fam. And of course, if you would like any more Nikki in your life, I will leave my socials here. I would love to see you over there. Don't be mad at me, okay? I cannot be talking for 2 hours straight. Well, I already know the threats that are coming in my comments. I already know. Proceed. Love you.